All right, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about Derrick Harmon and what he would bring to the Denver Broncos. But before we get into it, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You always wait till the end. Hopefully, I'll have earned it. Usually I save the film for the end of the video, but we're going to do film first and notes second. We're just going to try something different. Follow me on Twitter if you like what I have to say on here at Kodiak Broncos, and let's dive right into it. So, we've got our first clip right here. This is just a great shed on Oregon number 78, or not Oregon, Boise State number 78. Harmon just does a phenomenal job at getting in the backfield. Oh, also, shout out to Guru Film. Shout out to Guru and Mr. Talks for hooking me up. Large database of college film. If you guys have not checked that out, do it. It's amazing. But regardless, Derrick Harmon, he does a great job shedding this guy. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have the balance to get back in. But that's not a knock on him. He still does a great job at, making Jetty or trying to get Jetty to elude him. And when you're chasing down Ashton Jetty, you're not going to succeed most of the time. But regardless, a really, really nice shed here by Harmon. Honestly, there wasn't anything he could have done better. Not like he could have taken a better angle or anything. He just did a great job with that one, with his individual rep. But Jetty just got too outside. So this one is amazing as well. He moves across the gap incredibly well. So he's right here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse, but I've got him, right here lined up on in between 78 and 72 as well in the one tech. But you're just going to watch him. This right tackle tries to get a little, an extra little push on him, but Harmon is just able to win his way across the formation. Shed blocks effortlessly, and should he have brought Genty down here? Probably, but oh well. He was at least able to slow him down enough to the point where the rest of Oregon could at least rally. This one, we've got some red zone action. He just does a great job at blowing up the right guard there. That number 78 dude had a really, really tough time with Derrick Harmon. So this one is a great one where the left tackle just can't contain him. So number 77 and Harmon are going to get into some hand fighting here, but once again, Harmon's just able to win his way across the gap, and he just makes it look so easy. He's able to shed blocks while moving across the gap, and it's one of my favorite parts about his game. He's just so disruptive, and they're able to get together for that swarm tackle as well. This one's awesome. Number 74 engages with Derrick Harmon on Ohio State right here. Number 74, you're going to watch him, but Harmon holds his ground very, very well, and Quinshon Judkins ultimately has nowhere to go, primarily because of Harmon being able to close up this hole really, really well, and him knowing that he's got some backside help from number 0 right here. Really, really good stuff from Derrick Harmon and Oregon defense. So this one, I'm going to see if I can go back a little bit. He ultimately does get double teamed by the center and the right guard, but guess what? The right guard just gets completely blown back while this number 55 dude is working towards the second level. Just does an absolutely amazing job at getting into the backfield. We're going to watch this from the tight. You're going to notice, sorry, the camera's the Fox camera's in the way. But Derrick Harmon, number 77, trying to contain him, does a very, very poor job. And number 77 gets driven back into him. Very, very disruptive. Then Harmon's able to bring down Quinshon right there as well. So I'm going to actually give you one of the negative plays I saw in film, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and I do think I need to do a better job of showcasing the negative stuff from these prospects as we go through draft season. But regardless, you're going to look at Derrick Harmon, number 55 right here. And unfortunately, one thing that does happen is I think either him or number 52 gets completely lost with their assignment. Maybe they tried to run a stunt and just failed miserably, but I'm not entirely sure what went on here. But yeah, so you're going to see Harmon break towards number 52, and unfortunately, they get in each other's way. Harmon, I think, more gets into number 52's way. But regardless, then there's a bunch of traffic in the middle right here, and unfortunately, when you give Trevion Henderson this kind of hole, you're just not going to have a good time. Even though there was still time for Oregon's players to pursue him, even if it was a minuscule amount of time, you just can't be doing this when you go up against a running back like Trevion Henderson. So once again, failed stunt, gets in the way of number 52. Number 52, I mean, could he have brought him down? Maybe, but once again, a bunch of lateral agility, and he basically gets his ankles broken. And number 0 also kind of loses pursuit as well. But yeah, you give a guy like Trevion Henderson that kind of hole, that's not going to be a good time. I think that will be cleaned up if he was coached by Jamar Cain. This one's pretty good. So he does a really nice job of making his way through. What's this? He goes from the right tackle to the right guard to the center and just completely blows by the center. It's absolutely absurd what he does right here. Now, once again, one of the knocks I do have on Harmon is that he is not the best finisher in the backfield, and that kind of tracks because, if you right here, if you're going to struggle to bring down Will Howard, it's not going to get any easier in the NFL when you're going against Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert's, and Josh Allen's of the world in our conference. But yeah, still a really nice job by working laterally across the defensive line. Once again, this is just absolutely ridiculous. Able to work right here to the right guard, completely blows him back, and can't bring down Howard, but oh well. Oh well, still did enough to cause a pressure at the very least. So yeah, this one's also really good. Is able to maintain his ground even after getting pushed a lot right here. There's just a bunch of traffic right here, but Derrick Harmon is able to shed through here and is able to bring down Quinshon Judkins as well. Watch it from the tight. Derrick Harmon lined up over the center, and they're going to try to get some push on him, but unfortunately, Harmon just keeps his leverage really well. The saying is whoever gets the lowest wins, and I guess we're kind of seeing that here with Derrick Harmon. So, able to get his arms on Quinshon Judkins. Nice stuff right here as well. Last clip I have for you is against Genty again. Really nice backside pursuit by Derrick Harmon to get the tackle. Once again, we're going to watch him against the left tackle, number 77 right here. Or actually, it looks like they had a tight end kind of blocking him, but does a really nice job at working his way back to Genty as well. Now for the notes. So here's a little overview about Derrick Harmon. He was a 3-star recruit from Loyola High School in Detroit, Michigan. He decided to stay home and eventually played football for 3 years with the Michigan State Spartans. Also, I think Loyola High School is becoming low-key a football powerhouse out there in Detroit. So he transferred to Oregon before the 2024 season and had a true breakout with 55 defensive tackle pressures, which rivals a lot of the really premier edge rushers of this class, like Mike Green from Marshall, and there's a bunch of good dudes up there as well, like James Pierce, and I think Walter Nolan's hidden somewhere in there as well. But regardless, one of the things that really impresses me about Harmon is that he basically lapped every other interior defense lineman as far as pressures in this whole class. But one thing that does kind of sour me on him is that he entered the portal even after Michigan State made him the highest paid defensive tackle in the Big Ten, and he still left. So I just thought that was absolutely ridiculous that, and it's more of a flaw on the NIL era, and it's more of a flaw on, what college football is allowing this to turn into. Then again, he probably doesn't become or have the year he had this past year and catapults his way up into the first round if he stays with the Spartans. So I can't really fault him for that. But that does kind of sour me on him as well. But he's commonly mocked with a big first round range like the Cardinals, the Steelers, the Bills, and the Chiefs. So he has a pretty big range, and you better hope that one of the AFC teams does not get their hands on him because it would not be fun to deal with him as an opposing offensive line. Not even a little bit. Stylistically, he plays a lot like B.J. Hill, Daquan Jones, and Cam Hayward. Or at least these are the main comparisons I see for him across the internet. So why should Harmon be the pick for us at number 20? Basically, it resets the clock on John Franklin Myers, and it gives us another guy who lives in the backfield. So if you were to give Zach Allen, Nick Benito, Jonathan Cooper a partner like Derrick Harmon, it would give us a nasty four-man front for the next 2 to 3 years, assuming Zach Allen and Nick Benito get their extensions. But regardless, he would be a big help in our divisional contest, which is something we do need. Against the Chargers, flat out, we just need to be tougher. And it's not going to get any easier. They just signed 6'8", 360-pound Mekhi Becton to be on the interior offensive line. And now we're going to try to tackle Najee Harris, who people meme about him not being or running like he's in cement. But north-south, he's still pretty decent. And, against the Chiefs, they're going through a lot of offensive line turmoil. So they just lost Joe Tooney. They still don't have an answer at the tackle position, or at least long-term. at left tackle, and Jawan Taylor looks like a huge process miss by them at this point. So he would be an instant help against them as well, because stylistically, we play the Chiefs defensively as well as anybody. So I think just to build on that, and we saw in the Super Bowl how you can beat them. Yeah, I just think that would be really good for us as well. He fits our swarm defense that's more reliant on cleanup sacks rather than one guy just dominating. Like, yes, Nick Benito had 13.5 sacks. Jonathan Cooper had 10 sacks last year. Zach Allen had, I think, like 9.5. So, yeah, all those guys were absolutely fantastic. But we spread out our sacks for the most part pretty well. And honestly, I felt like 80 to 90% of our sacks were, um, swarm sacks, where we had 2 or 3 guys who realistically could have gotten credited rather than just one guy being able to dominate as well. But yeah, I think he'd fit that mold really well because he was so disruptive, man. He just lives in the opposing backfield. So here are some key stats on Derrick Harmon. So he had the second highest interior defensive line pressure rate in the country, only behind Omar Norman Lott. So if you want some Omar Norman Lott propaganda for you sharps out there, there you go. 55 pressures was the most amongst the interior defensive line and rivaled some of the top edge rushers from this class, like I said. He had as many QB hurries as Abdul Carter, 43 on 4 less pass rushing snaps. So that's not me saying that Abdul Carter is as good of a prospect, or other way around, that Derrick Harmon is as good of a prospect on the interior defensive line as Abdul Carter is as an edge rusher, because Abdul Carter is a blue chip for a reason. But they had the same amount of pressures or same amount of hurries on 4 less pass rushing snaps, or at least in Derrick Harmon's case. And they were playing against very similar competition because they were in the same conference. So yeah, he had a 17.6 pass rush win percentage, which was 4th in the country for interior defensive line, only 1.8% behind first, which was also Omar Norman Lott. And he had a 26.7% missed tackle rate. And that tracked on film when I noticed that he was a poor finisher, but oh well. You go to a place like Jamar Cain, you go to a team that has Jamar Cain coaching the defensive line. We've seen a lot of guys get their traits sorted out with our defensive coaching staff, so that'd be really good as well. But regardless, I still feel like if you're able to get into the backfield, that's at least good enough for our guys to clean it up at some point. So here's my verdict. So while tight end, while running back, while wide receiver are all in contention for being our pick in the first round, I'm still all about interior defensive line. Like, that's still where I think we should go. It's still a primary need for our team defensively to sustain our pass rush, which we've seen over the past decade or so is a timeless strategy for being a good team year in and year out. And second of all, we need to avoid getting run over again. We need to avoid watching Derrick Henry and James Cook go for 7-8 yards a clip against us. And it gives us flexibility while we only have one interior defensive line guy under contract beyond 2025, which is DJ Jones. Zach Allen's probably going to get extended, but beyond that, Malcolm Roach may not get extended. JFM may not get extended, especially if we draft Derrick Harmon or Kenneth Grant or something like that. But my primary concern about him is as a finisher in the backfield, and that's not going to get any easier in the NFL. Like I said, when you're playing against Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, whoever else you can think of that does a really good job at avoiding sacks in the NFL, that is not going to get any easier. So once again, we do have the guys to clean it up if he's able to, if he doesn't succeed at bringing down the quarterback or anything like that. But the question between Grant and Harmon is, who is better for this specific team? Who do you think is going to be better for the Denver Broncos? And who do you think makes the most sense at sustaining what we have on the defensive side of the ball? That's my question right now, because spoiler alert, I'm going to make a top 10 preferred guys at our first round pick video here in the near future. So yeah, it's going to be between either Grant or Harmon at 1 and 2. And honestly, yeah, that's just how I feel. I do think that interior defensive line would be the smartest decision for us in this draft. And I really like Derrick Harmon. Here's some compelling arguments for why he should be our first round pick. And yeah, all right, that basically does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Mile high salute.